Space. As some would call it, the final frontier. For ages, we human beings have found ourselves shackled to the ground, unable to break free from the bonds of gravity and escape the confines of Earth. Yet the possibilities of the infinite have never escaped our minds, whether through imaginative jaunts through the stars, both with their treks and their wars, or through the determined efforts of those willing to find a way to travel to the unknown. And though our dreams may falter as we traverse our way through these troubled, divisive times, with the future always uncertain, we stand united as one in our goals to eventually discover what's beyond the beyond. And so, to illustrate this point, we're going to play Ratchet and Clank on the PlayStation 2. Makes sense to me if it does to you. So, that's disappointing. Just, I guess because it's PlayStation, that's how it is, but I still find that disappointing. Here's the original save screen for those of you who can't see it. It was a different time, the PlayStation 2. Kleisel Plateau, Planet Velden. I didn't read the local time. I'm sorry, don't assassinate me. So here we see Luke, the farm boy, working on Tatooine, and he's got to he's here at Tashi Station, and his wristwatch there has just told him he needs to go get some more power converters. So that's really the plot here of this. Meanwhile, in a factory on a nearby planet. Machines, we must make more machines. Never stop machining. So, clearly, oh no, it's a JPEG image of a red X. Oh. Also, that robot was clearly in an angel pose. That was a T-pose right there. Well. It's C-3PO. It looks like R2-D2's watching from the sidelines. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I don't really. Whoa. That's... What do you think he's watching there? Whoop. Whee. That had to have been fun. That had to have been fun to just slide down. Get into your ship, boys! Take him down! Approaching Planet Velden, 11:47 a.m. Eastern Standard. Shoot him down! We got ourselves a bogey, Charlie Tango, up on the freeway. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Simplistic storytelling at its finest. And Planet Velden looks like it has a face. I'm just saying. Whoa! Whoa! He crash landed and turned himself into a backpack. Well, let's check this out, why don't we? So.
Welcome to the Gadget Ron Help Desk.
Hi.
We are here to offer you advice during your interplanetary travels. The help desk is a free service provided by Gadget.
Thanks, Gadgetron. I'm gonna get myself some bolts. Whoop. Okay. Well, that's kind of what the select button is for. I didn't know that that's what happened if I tapped the right control stick. Ooh, I don't know if it's the fact that it's this port or not, but the camera stick is kind of syrupy. I don't really know if that's just this port or that's the game or what. Or it's my controller. It could be any of those things. So, I guess I haven't really talked about what is happening right now. And that's understandable if you're me, because I'm easily distracted and there was a lot going on screen there. This is Ratchet and Clank for the PlayStation 2. Once again, I'm playing it on a PlayStation 3 port because 1080p, man. 1080p.
You can interrupt help desk messages by pressing the triangle. To disable help desk messages, please select option from your pause menu.
I feel like probably some of you are going to want me to turn off the tutorial stuff, and that's understandable why you would want to. But just for plot convenience sake, I'm gonna keep him on.
Gadgetron's Omni Range 2000 includes a new comic book feature. Use the R1.
Okay, so basically it's just saying, hey, if you use the R1 and did this, then it does that.
That's nanotech.
It certainly is.
You sustain injury.
That's, yeah, it's health. It's certainly health. But you don't need to do, like, I actually, in all of the different playthroughs I've seen, I've never seen anyone really do that often. I mean, it's useful. I'm not going to say it's not useful, but it's not required. Ooh. Hey, whoa. So, why did I decide to do Ratchet and Clank? Well, because, I don't know, I felt like if I'm going to be starting up this new gaming weekend show, I kind of want to start off playing games that I grew up with and know really well. And, you know, I really, more than anything, grew up with the PlayStation 2. That was like my childhood console. I always kind of wanted a GameCube because I was a Nintendo fan and I've always liked Mario. But it was pretty much like, I was at the mercy of whatever my parents bought, and my dad really liked the Medal of Honor series, and he got, I think it was Frontline, and that was why he got this, so then I just had that. I grew up with that until, like, '09, I want to say.
To use your bomb glove, press the circle button to equip it, and the circle button again to fire.
Yay, the bomb glove. Everyone's favorite. It's amazing how the bomb glove actually becomes very, useless fairly quickly. Let's see if I can just surprise him. Well, I got him surprised. Let's see about you. Can I surprise you? Yes, I can. Oh, here they come. I was waiting on that. Pow. And pow. Okay, you want to pow for me, please? Thank you. Well, I would go collect the coins that landed where you are, but if I do that, it's going to automatically cutscene me. In a way, I said coins. They're nuts and bolts, really. Oh God, no, not those. No, get those off the screen. No. And thus, he found his backpack, and it's just here. I guess we'll just take it.
Don't worry, buddy. Interesting.
Yay!
You're quite handy with your wrench.
You bet. I built that ship with it.
I always kind of preferred the gruffer voice of Ratchet in the first game to the sort of whiny thing he had in all the subsequent ones.
Well, he's on the radio every week. Other than that, no. Hey, what's with all this save the solar system stuff anyway?
We're still pretty busy, but in a more, domestic sense. I guess no one needs a hero right now.
I don't know. I think it just makes more sense with the kind of character that Ratchet starts off as, which is more of just a gruff mechanic.
Hello, citizens of...
Also, Kevin Michael Richardson. Let's give it up, everyone, for Kevin Michael Richardson. Everyone's favorite intimidating voice actor. He's played so many roles, from the heartwarming to the villainous. And without fail, they are all wonderful. He's 10 times better than Paul Giamatti. Paul Giamatti, who, I don't know what he was doing. Whatever it wasn't good.
This could be a problem. Take care of it.
Look at these waterfalls, the fjords, the rolling hills of Korvoxian Snodgrass. This is exactly what I need.
Yeah. We'll get into that all later on.
So you see, it would be most beneficial if your citizens were not in the city when my workers begin removing it.
Preposterous! I will not stand for this.
I will not stand for this.
Choice in the matter.
Let's just see what Captain Quark has to say about that, my good man. I don't see what's so funny. Captain Quark could dispatch you without even breaking a sweat, you puny...
You know, in retrospect, we all should have seen the twist coming.
Worn out your welcome and my patience.
I mean, just Kevin Michael Richardson. His voice is so... He's got that great, like, bass baritone thing going for him, where he just commands the presence in the room. I don't know why. I get it. They needed star power for the movie, but, like... Man, Giamatti, what were you doing? What were you thinking? When the game shows the... Ooh... That was, Yep, that didn't render correctly. Alright, let's look at the missions here. Alright, finding the ship. We'll do that first. I think we've got enough time. Well, we're almost towards the end of what I like to call the time limit on this show, but we're close enough to where I would like to be that I'm fine with just keeping going. We'll do the first mission here on Novalis, and then we'll just call it a day for today. But okay, I get it. How can I? There it goes. Thank you. So I was in elementary school when I first played this game. I had a classmate friend who I would spend time at his place a lot. You know, not like just like walk over and hang out, because where I live, that's almost impossible. But you know, I'd be hanging out at his place. We'd have like sleepovers and stuff, and he had a PlayStation 2 as well, and he had this game on it, and we used to play it as much as we could, and it was always really fun. I remember this was actually, I think, the first T-rated game I ever played, which really was more a statement on how the way I was raised by my parents. They were far more like, I don't want to say repressive, but they were more like, they kept a closer watch on what their kid was consuming. So they were very much about like looking at ratings and not letting me see PG-13 movies, or, you know, like things that viewer discretion advised on TV, or even video games that weren't rated E for everyone. So I think that what eventually made them break that rule is the fact that the Beatles Rock Band was T for teen. But I think by then I was 13 anyway, so I mean, it was A-okay by then. But still, I always loved this game. It's just so good. I always feel like, you know, the PlayStation 2 to me is like the final flowering of what you would call the 3D platformer. Because, you know, there's like this thing that I probably could talk about later on down the line, but I find it fascinating with the PlayStation, the way each generation of console kind of had a different identity to the games that came out on it. If you look at like the big, like let's say the top 3 companies of PlayStation would be Naughty Dog, Insomniac, and Sucker Punch. Let's say that those are the top 3, at least in as far as like platform games go, right? Now, you open up with the PlayStation 1, a very vibrant, bright, and colorful. Sucker Punch is not it yet. They're trying to make stuff for the Nintendo 64, but you've got Naughty Dog and Insomniac. Naughty Dog has got Crash, Insomniac's got Spyro. And it's very bright and colorful and, you know, cartoonish, and it's fun and exciting. And then the PlayStation 2 comes out, graphics get an update, and then Sucker Punch joins the fray. Then you start getting Sly Cooper and Ratchet and Clank and Jack and Daxter, which are still relatively cartoonish and colorful to a degree, but there's a bit more of an edge to their settings and their gameplay styles and their characters. It's not as identifiably like for kids. I mean, you could make an argument that Sly Cooper was that, but it still was more like aiming for as many people as it could, right? And then with the PlayStation 3, that's when we see the rise of like the very adult, gritty thing, and that's when Naughty Dog starts doing Uncharted and The Last of Us. That's when Sucker Punch moves into the Infamous series, and that's where Insomniac just keeps doing Ratchet and Clank for some reason.
Here, take my infobot. It's all I've got left.
Sir, we're not assassins.
Hold on. Let's see what he's got.
Alright, so let's see here with the infobot.
Has this ever happened to you? Hi, I'm Captain Quark.
What I find brilliant about all of this is, besides the fact that it's a funny commercial, But it shows that, okay, so the original goal in this game is that we're searching for this supposed hero, the, like, Superman of this universe, Captain Quark, who's supposed to be this great, valiant hero. But he's in commercials for, like, mechanic shops. And you get very quickly, with, like, the commercialism around his entire identity, that there's something underneath the surface that isn't necessarily valiant, or what we would call heroic.
Do you know what this means?
Yeah, Captain Quark is really sold out.
No.
He's searching for money. That's his quest. That's his goal. That's really the whole underlying thing of everyone in the game. I think the only character who gives you, like, something that you need for free is actually this guy right here, because his planet is being attacked. But beyond that, every, like, NPC that you talk to within this game requires some form of money, some form of reward for being generous people. It's that classic thing that Ego Raptor talked about when he did the sequelitis on Legend of Zelda. The attitude is, what makes you the hero? What sets you apart from any other person in this game universe who doesn't do the heroic things you do? Ratchet and Clank sets it up very cleverly by saying, to these people, to most of the general populace in this entire game series, it's about the money. There's no reward in heroics to them. It's about reward in cash. And that, I think, is brilliant. Because at its core, honestly, beyond what the Ratchet and Clank series is now, and whatever its lore is, at its root basis, Ratchet and Clank is meant to be a parody of both heroic tropes and consumerism. It's a fantastic 3D platformer game, but it's always got this cynical, wry smirk on its face as it delivers that content to you. So anyway, and with that said, this is the first episode of Ratchet and Clank. Make sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, click the bell to be notified about when other videos in this series come out. Make sure to smash that like button, share the video with your friends, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye!